Oh man. So a lot of y'all know I just bought an RV, and if you didn't know, this is a brand new 2025 Alliance Delta 234 RK that I purchased within the last like 6 weeks or so. And if you've never purchased an RV before, just know after you purchase the RV, there is a lot of stuff that you're going to either need, want, or like to have in your RV that it is not going to come with. So I bought all of it here after a ton of research, plus all of my knowledge with selling RVs and everything. But this has been quite the experience because even with the fact that my family or my parents have had RVs for most of my life, selling RVs, doing full-time reviews and tours of RVs, there is just nothing like buying an RV myself and actually going out and doing all this shopping to realize how much stuff can go into RVing. Like, this is insane. So we are gonna unbox all of this stuff that I got, and then we're gonna pack it down into things that are like absolutely must have for your RV, things that are nice to have, or things that are just like, high wants, and then things that are just kind of like luxury things that will make your RVing experience hopefully better and easier. So let's get into it. So I sorted everything out here, got everything unboxed. We have basically all the stuff that you are going to need for your RV over here. Things that are definitely going to be a nice to have, but might not necessarily need. And then things over here that are just fun to have that will elevate your camping experience or are going to like prevent damage or things like that from occurring that you won't need for your RV, but are definitely going to be nice to have as well. So with all that said, there's a couple things I want to talk about real quick. First of all of this stuff, except for two products, I purchased with my own money. So they are not things that are products that I'm being sponsored to show you or being paid to show you or anything like that. This is all just stuff I went out and spent my own money on, except for two things. One of those is going to be this mattress here from rvmattress.com. Although they are sponsoring this video, I do want to mention that this is absolutely a product I would buy for my RV because when you see the mattress inside of here, it is pretty pitiful. So let's talk about the mattress real quick. One of the first things that I am upgrading in my RV and most other people upgrade in their RV is the mattress because most mattresses that come in RVs are just absolutely pitiful. As you can see here in my Alliance Delta that I have, this is what the mattress material is underneath here. I mean, that is hardly a mattress at all. I don't even know what this material is, but we're going to get rid of this thing. And I'm going to swap this out with a mattress from rvmattress.com. They come rolled up in a box like this, so very easy to install in your RV, even if you are at a campground. And then they have RV size mattresses for any kind of mattress you may find in your RV, even bunk beds. That's another thing that makes them so great. They come with a 120-night sleep trial, so if you don't like what you got, you can return it. They have a limited lifetime warranty as well. They also have various different mattress types that you can choose from. So I actually went with the Dream Foam Essential mattress because that had the widest range of like thickness options and different comfort options out of all of their lineup. And I actually wanted something that was a little bit more lightweight and thinner in profile that was a little bit firm, which the Dream Foam Essential was like the perfect choice for me there. But I did also get an Aurora Lux mattress for my parents a while back for their fifth wheel RV, which is a much thicker, more plush mattress that does have different firmness options as well. So lots of different options out there. Now you can use the discount code MILES here to get 30% off of your order. This is something I recommend for almost everybody because nearly every RV out there just does not have a good mattress when you get into it on night one. And this is something that most people find wanting to upgrade pretty dang quick. So check that out. Again, you can use the discount code MILES for 30% off of rvmattress.com by Brooklyn Bedding. One of the first things you are going to need for your RV in most instances is going to be some sort of receiver hitch here. So I've actually seen people even show up to a dealership not realizing that like they didn't have a ball on their truck and stuff like that and needed that at least to tow the travel trailer away. But with any travel trailer, I definitely recommend a weight distribution hitch. You can see I have that set up here with the bars in the truck right there for the weight distribution hitch. There's a bunch of different options there. And then obviously if you're looking at a fifth wheel RV, you would get a fifth wheel hitch or some sort of gooseball connection or gooseneck connection here that would go on a ball in the truck that would sit here in the bed of the truck. But you're not going to be able to leave the dealership with your RV without having some sort of hitch set up here. So that is something I purchased at the dealership at Blue Compass when I bought my RV was the weight distribution hitch, which this one here ran about $1,200 or so that I have. And it's a 10,000 pound rated hitch. Slight change of plans that I think will make this video even better. When I set up all that stuff to unbox, there were some things that I didn't realize did not get ordered in my Amazon order. And there were some things I also went and purchased since then. So now we're set up here at a campsite just a couple days later, and I'm gonna walk through everything here that I unboxed. So we started with the weight distribution hitch already. Now we're gonna go through, still gonna try to do this where I'm gonna go from like most essential items to least essential as best I can, but there might be a little bit of crossover as we go through this, so stay tuned through the video. But let's get into things that I think are most essential that you're going to want for your RV or need for your RV that you're not going to get potentially when you go to purchase one. And also, before we get too deep into this video as well, if you want to see what our camping trip experience is like, make sure that you're subscribed to my Firmly Unbound YouTube channel, because right around the same time I publish this video, or it might already be uploaded, on my Firmly Unbound YouTube channel, I will have a video about our camping trip experience here with this first trip in the Alliance Delta and every trip there on after. So make sure you're subscribed to that Firmly Unbound channel to see all of that stuff. Starting underneath here, and I forgot when I purchased this RV, I did not realize that either the cap fell off prior to me purchasing it or after I purchased it, but the cap here for this storage spot for the sewer hose on my camper fell off. So I have duct tape down there right now until this part gets in to fix that. But this here, I got a Rhino sewer hose from Camco. This is the one that I see most people using, so I went ahead and went with this one as well. It seems like it just does really well. When you purchase your RV from a dealership, they may offer you like a starter kit or things like that that may have sewer hoses in them. Sometimes they're not the most, premium of sewer hoses, and if there's one area I definitely would not go cheap, it's a sewer hose, because you do not want, these membranes or anything like that to break or bust or have bad connection points so that things leak out. That's definitely not a problem you want. So this seems pretty tried and true. A lot of people use it. And then you can see I store mine up underneath here because this Alliance Delta comes with a spot here to store this, but some RVs will just have a bumper on the back as well that you might store this in, or some people will put them in a plastic bin to store those in. So as we come along to my non-camp side of the RV, bins are going to be something you're definitely going to want a good amount of. These are obviously going to vary on the size of your RV, so mine are relatively small just so they can fit into the storage compartments. Now, if you're somebody that questions why I open cabinets and drawers and all that stuff in all of my videos, why I go through showing all the different cabinet sizes, it's so that if somebody just bought an RV or is thinking about buying an RV, they have that information. I actually was surprised to see myself using that. I went and watched my own review of this Alliance Delta 234RK to figure out what size bins were gonna fit in my compartments and what size bins were gonna fit in drawers and cabinets, because I open all the drawers and cabinets. So that's why I do that. But anyways, getting down into this bin here, these bins are gonna be important. The reason you want bins is because you don't want all these loose items just able to move around freely inside of your RV. You want some sort of storage mechanism here to make sure that these stay in place so that these items don't get damaged and so that these items don't damage things inside the RV. But I wanted to show you another reason why that Rhino sewer hose is nice. It comes with this clear elbow here. This is gonna make sure that as water is flowing out of there, you can see the color of it so you know when it's actually clean and clear. So that's another nice thing about that sewer hose that it comes with there. Over here at the power connection area, this here is a surge protector. Now I'm using this Power Watchdog. I've heard a lot of good reviews about this. Pretty simple and straightforward on how to use this thing. Basically, this just plugs into the 30 or 50 amp plug at your campsite, depending on if you need a 30 or 50 amp plug. Mine's a 30 amp camper, so this is a 30 amp Power Watchdog. And this here is just gonna make sure you don't have any electrical issues with your RV. The last thing you want is to have any sort of wiring harnesses or any sort of wiring inside of your RV fry or anything like that. You don't wanna have those kind of electrical issues inside of your RV, and this is going to help protect against that. Your RV will come with a 30 amp or a 50 amp cable, depending on what kind of RV it is. Most of them are going to be somewhere around I want to say 15 to 25 feet. I'm not sure the exact length, and I don't know if that's standardized. It is possible that you might find yourself in a situation where you want to have a longer power cord depending on the setup of the campsites that you're at. So just keep that in mind. Some RVs I know, fifth wheels especially, and some travel trailers too, might have connections on the side of the RV versus where mine is on the back of the RV. And sometimes this power connection at your campsites might be on the back corner of your site. It might be on the side of your site. And you might end up in different circumstances where you might need a longer cable than what comes standard with your RV. So just keep that in mind it's possible you might find yourself in a situation where the standard cable it comes with might not be long enough and you need like an extender, or, you know, basically another 50 or 30 amp cable to extend your length there, just like an extension cord would work essentially. And right here, you can actually see this from Blue Compass. This was basically like a very basic little starter kit that they gave me. Another thing the RV did come with is this shower head connection that can be used on the outside water connections. A lot of RVs will come with that standard. The starter kit that I got was about as basic gets, and I honestly kind of wasted my money on it because most of the things that came in the starter kit I've already upgraded from what they gave me. It is nice. It came with this little, you know, milk crate here. I could definitely use that for different things. Another nice thing about this as well is like a 20-pound propane bottle, or I think even like 30-pound propane bottles would fit inside this as well. So when you need to take a propane bottle in to have it swapped out or to fill it up or whatever, not swap it out, but to fill it up, you could put it inside of here, which is a nice thing to just take that where you need to go to do that. But in this starter kit, just show you what kind of came with it. You have right here, this is a, 25-foot drinking hose. Again, not bad, but 25 feet, you might find yourself, I've seen plenty of instances where 25 feet is not quite long enough. So I'll keep this and I'll have it, which is nice, but may not be, you know, something that I use that much. Came with some really cheap little plastic gloves, upgraded those too. And then came with this RV Digest It toilet treatment. Another thing, again, I'm gonna use liquefied in my RV, but I'll have this in case I ever need it. And then that was pretty much it that came in this starter kit. But then the next thing I wanted to get to is the water hose, because this is something that is going to be pretty essential for most people. Again, not required to go camping. We're out camping right now in our camper and I do not have it hooked up to any water. And this right here is the hose I went with. There's plenty of great hose options out there. There's heated hoses if you need a heated hose for your RV, if you plan to camp in, you know, anywhere close to freezing temperatures. Just make sure that it is drinking water safe for your RV if you plan to use this for, you know, city water, which is basically going to be water at your campsite that will flow into the RV. If you plan to like use that water for basically anything in your RV, you want to make sure it's drinking water safe. You don't want it to be something that's essentially just like a garden hose. So I went with this one just because it's going to be easier to store and it's 50 feet long, so I wouldn't be as worried about different issues there. Other things that are essential that are simple, things like duct tape. We've already found a use for this multiple different times on this camping trip for very just basic tasks, but definitely very usable. A water filter. So when we do actually hook up to water, this Camco Taste Pure is one of the most popular water filters out there. There's more advanced water filtration systems as well if you do plan to like drink water. Now for me, I plan to use this to just filter the water coming into the RV. I don't honestly ever intend to drink water out of the faucets and stuff inside of this RV. That's just not something I've ever done RV camping. My family's never done it RV camping. We always bring bottled water and like actual purified drinking water to drink out of. But this is just to make sure that all the water is clean and pure coming into the RV, as good as it can be, because I have no idea where the heck this water is coming from. More water connections, these 90-degree elbows, these are pretty important when you go to hook up your water. Whether it's exposed on the side of the camper like mine or it's inside your storage compartment, pretty much always when you hook a water hose up to this, the weight of the hose alone is going to cause it to like fall down and potentially kink up. So this here is a 90-degree angle to just prevent that from happening and prevent that, you know, kind of wear on your hose there. So another important item that most people get for their RVs. And please add your input down below in the comments, because this here is a forum, not only for me, but the whole community of people watching. But I want your guys' input even, because this is my first time camping in this RV by myself. Every other camping trip I've ever been on, it was my parents' RV, and they were the ones that were responsible for all of this. So I couldn't even tell you all the stuff they had for their RV because I didn't pay like super close attention to everything they had. Now, again, I did a ton of research going into this to make sure I got as much of the stuff that I could think of and could find. But if there's things that you feel are absolutely essential to RVing that I missed, or things that are just really nice to have, or that you just love having in your RV that you couldn't live without, please let me know down below in the comments and add that information, because I would love to hear what thoughts you have and what things I could add to elevate my RVing experience. And the other people down below that in the comments that are going through it and reading them, that they can also go to for additional information as well when they are going out to purchase their RV. And sticking on the topic of water, A water pressure regulator is something you're definitely going to want. Again, this is something that came in the starter kit that I purchased with Blue Compass, but I already upgraded. So this is just a standard water pressure regulator. It's set to 40 to 50 psi, which is fine. I'm sure it works just fine, but I just wanted one that was a little bit heavier duty that actually you could adjust the water pressure on. So I went with this one here, this Renator. I don't even know how you pronounce that brand, but you can see that there. And also, this is something I'm trying to learn. I am going to try to get all the links for all these different products down below in the comments and description for this video. So if you want to go help me out in any way and you plan to purchase this stuff anyways, I'm hoping by the time this video gets uploaded, I will have figured out how this whole Amazon system works, where I can have links down below where if you purchase something using that link, I get a little bit of compensation. Probably won't make a big difference in my life at all, but if you want to just help in any way that you can and you plan to buy the stuff anyways, look for those links down below in the description of this video for a lot of these products that you're seeing here in this video. So that is that there. Let's stick on water while we're here going through this little bin that I got. There's a couple other things in here. This is just more of a nice to have, not necessarily essential, but this is going to be like a hose, or a, water outlet splitter so that you can have two different water hoses or water sources coming out of one spigot there for the water. Nice to have, so if you have like your RV hooked up to water, you can have another free hose here so you can do things like, wash off stuff, douse the fire, different things like that. And last right here, this was another thing, definitely not essential on this, but this is a little piece here that allows you to connect to water sources that may not have like a properly threaded spigot or something like that. So you actually can, like stretch this onto a water source and then screw in your water hose here. So it's called a water bandit. And I don't know how much I'll find myself using this, but this is just a just in case, nice to have type of thing. These here are absolutely essential. Now, you don't need this exact product here, but these are wheel chocks that prevent your RV from rolling. So you can see I got these thicker rubber ones here that have the cable there. These you absolutely will need from day one with your RV. You do not want to go out there without these, because if you unhook your RV from your vehicle and you are not on a perfectly level surface, the likelihood of your RV starting to roll on you is very high, and that is obviously going to prevent that from happening. Now, you don't have to get those rubber ones. That's just what I would recommend. I did get little red plastic ones from the dealership when I purchased this RV with Blue Compass, but again, something I've already upgraded there. And next is some good old blocks. There are so many different ways that you can approach blocks for your RV. My dad, I know he has a ton of like 2x4s or 4x6s in his truck that he keeps of wood that essentially serve the same purpose. I got these Camco leveling blocks here. You can see you can use them to level your RV. So that would look something like, basically stacking them up like this to elevate the sides of your RV. Because something a lot of people don't know, these manual stabilizers here, these are not intended to lift weight on the trailer. They are meant to just stabilize the trailer. So these are not intended to like level out your RV necessarily. That is done with putting stuff underneath the wheels and using the tongue jack of your RV. So that'll be something for a later video, but just know that to level your RV, you might have to drive up onto something to elevate one side of the RV to make it level. And then you can use them underneath here just to give you a little bit more stable surface. Sometimes too, you might find yourself in a position where you're parked in a way that the distance from here down to the ground might be too long for your stabilizer to actually reach the ground. So that is another thing these blocks can help with as well. So these wedges here from it's Carmtex. It's C-A-R-M-T-E-K. Carmtech. Sorry, not Carmtex. Carmtech. These wedges are what I'm using to level the RV. So you basically can drive up on them and they can get you up to a few inches off the ground. I think it's like up to 4 inches off the ground. Pretty easy system to use. There's so many different systems to level your RV that you can use, and your RV may come with a auto leveling system, so it's potentially possible that you may not need that. But that's what I'm using there to level the RV. It's also nice because you can roll up onto those and do something like change a tire if you need to. So if you ever find yourself needing to change a tire, that's something you could roll up onto to get both wheels off the ground so that you're able to do that. Speaking of which, something I haven't purchased yet that would be nice to have and almost essential in terms of like, if something goes wrong, is a bottle jack. So a bottle jack is something I still need to get, which would also help in the event that this RV needs to be lifted to do something like change a tire. Then right here between the wheels, we have this T-chock system. So you'll see a lot of RVers use these. These are basically going to help just increase the stabilization on the RV as you walk back and forth in this RV and whatnot. It prevents those wheels from moving quite as much. So that's going to help just keep the RV even more stable when you are inside the RV. And then the last thing that we have over here is these little valve stems right here. These are a tire pressure monitoring system. Now, a lot of RVs today come with a tire pressure monitoring system already standard on the RV, but mine did not. And that is something I was very, very adamant about wanting. So I made sure to purchase that right away. And then the monitor for that sits inside my truck. Keep in mind, the longer your RV is, you might need a range extender or like a signal booster. Fortunately for me so far, I have not found myself needing that, but that is not something I knew I might need until I opened the box for this product and saw that that was an optional thing that you could purchase if you need it. And I don't know the exact range that that's recommended on, but with my 28-foot travel trailer, I did not need the signal booster so far. And that's something I really just can't stress enough as well, is I make sure to check the tire pressure every time before I drive my RV. Blowouts on tires on RVs is a super common problem. I don't even know if checking it every single time I move this RV will prevent the problem fully, but I know that most people have no idea what their tire pressure is when they go to move things, when they go to drive their vehicle or move an RV. And I have to think that's a big reason why blowouts happen. It's not the only reason why, but it is a big reason why. So just prevent that with checking your tire pressure. So something like having a tire pressure monitor as well, or just a tire pressure gauge, is also important. I have one of those in my toolbox also, or in my box there, my plastic bin, to make sure I can always check tire pressure whenever I need to. And then brings me to another thing, having an air compressor. This can definitely be a very nice thing to have if you ever do have a tire blowout or just need to put air pressure in a tire. A little, some sort of air compressor of some nature is good to have. This one just plugs into a little 12-volt plug, I believe, in the truck. I think that's a 12-volt plug. I don't know the names of all my different plugs, but I think that's what that is. And so this plugs into that and gives me some sort of air compressor on the road in case I need it. Now, I would still be a little limited, because if I was like driving down the road and I had something happen where my truck is hooked up to the camper, this is not going to reach that. So that's something I'm mindful of, and I need to find a little bit better solution for something where I can make sure that if I'm just driving down the road and need to put air in tires, I can pull over and have the capability to do that. And right now, with the length of this cable, I don't know that this is gonna be anywhere near long enough for me to, solve that issue while I'm on the road without disconnecting my truck to the RV. So, but that's just something to keep in mind. An air compressor is definitely a nice thing to have. This is something you'll probably be able to find at your dealership pretty likely and pretty easily. I got these at Blue Compass, but this here is going to be covers for different vents on the RV. These are pretty dang important. I would definitely just, if you can just get these installed at the dealership, ask to get these installed. These are going to prevent wasps, bugs, mud daubers, anything like that getting into different components in your RV. So they go on things like this here. In fact, I still need to install these, but on spots here like your furnace vents there, and also areas like your water heater vent, stuff like that. It's going to just keep those protected from bugs getting into those spaces. Now, when you get to your campsite, there's some things that you got to think about too that just aren't going to be there. One of them being trash cans more often than not. So these are little collapsible trash cans that I got that'll just collapse down like so, allowing you to easily store them. So much of like finding RV products too is just finding things that are easy to store away, that are lightweight, compact. So I got 2 of these trash cans here, and you're gonna also need trash bags. And ironically enough, I bought trash bags, just little mini tiny ones that don't fit inside that trash can. So that was my error there. So this is what I've been using, but make sure you buy the right size trash bags for your outside trash, and for your inside trash, you're gonna need trash bags for those as well, your trash cans inside. And then let's wrap up everything that's in here. We got some boring stuff, but definitely some needed stuff. I've already used these a bunch. These are just gonna be gloves. These are 5mm thick gloves. That's probably like the least amount of thickness I would want on gloves, because these already have like ripped a couple times on me. If you're working with stuff like your sewer hoses and things like that, You definitely don't want those to rip, but having gloves on hand is always nice. Things on your RV are also just naturally just very dirty and messy. So if you want to just keep your hands clean messing with stuff, it's nice to have. Safety vest. This is going to be something that's just another thing that if you ever have to fix a tire on the side of the road or whatever, just a nice safety measure. You certainly don't need it, but it is nice to have. I also have safety triangles that can go on the side of the road so that I can extend those out, about 20, 30 feet in front of the RV so that people can see that there's something going on there when I have anything going on the side of the road. A lot of stuff you need for RVs is going to be stuff that's like in case something happens type of materials. Underneath here, RV toilet paper. Toilet paper for RVs is specific. There are different brands of it. This is the toilet paper I got from the dealership when I purchased my RV. I have more inside, but you're gonna definitely need some RV specific toilet paper so it decomposes properly and will drain out properly. And then this here is something I have not installed yet that I'm pretty excited to use. I'm actually not even quite certain that the trailer is level right now, but this is a beach lane RV leveling system. You can see right here, it is going to be a piece of equipment that is going to mount inside the RV. And that piece of equipment is going to connect to my phone to let me know if the trailer is level. I'm excited to get this set up because right now I don't have any way to tell for sure other than just stepping inside and feeling if this RV is level. You can also just get a long leveling stick essentially that you can put across the floor inside the RV that will accomplish the same thing as this if you want to do it manually. That's another option. Anything else underneath here? I think that's oh, and then this here, this is the nice to have. So this is just definitely don't need it, but nice to have. I have two of these here where these are little wraps that will go around things like water hoses, electric cables. The cables, especially like a 50 amp cable, they can be dirty, they can be heavy, they're hard to lug around. This here will help you carry those around more easily.
Well, this was quite unfortunate. I got back and I realized some of these video clips, the audio cut out. So I'm going to try to voice over this as best as I can. So here in this bucket, I have some tools and whatnot as well, just some basic stuff, some screwdrivers, some pliers, just simple things to be able to fix some of those tasks. And then right here, this is going to be a tool called an eye crimp. This is from Amazon as well. And then this is going to be something that is for the plumbing lines inside of the camper. So it has different tools to be able to cut those plumbing lines and to basically, reconnect plumbing lines. And so I got this there. And then something in addition to that that I feel like I'll probably want is just some additional plumbing lines or like those PEX lines so that if something does go wrong inside of the camper, I'm able to replace those or fix those if there's a water leak or anything like that. Just have them just in case. It's again just one of those preventative measures where just in case something does happen, I'm already prepared and ready to go in the event that something like that does need to be fixed, and hopefully I never have to use it. Also have Teflon tape here, so this is just a standard white Teflon tape, and then there is the yellow Teflon tape as well. And I believe if I remember correct, because I got introduced to like the idea that there was this other yellow Teflon tape online, and I think that's for like propane lines, if I remember correct, but I don't remember exactly, so I actually have to look that up, or someone can let me know in the comments if they would like. But I have both those different types of Teflon tapes there to just get a more secure connection on things if I ever need to use that. So again, a lot of this stuff is going to be for just like preventative measures on things that could potentially happen inside of an RV. But down in here, try to see what else we got inside of this bucket. Here's a quick connect valve for blowing out your water lines. So this is something that you can use to blow out your water lines. Something that's interesting, I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to go winterizing my RV because my dad, who's had RVs for 15 years now, he's never put like winterization fluid inside of his RVs. He's always just blown out all of the water lines. It's never been an issue. He's had all of his campers in Colorado where it certainly gets below freezing quite regularly in the winter. And it's never been a problem. It's always worked to just blow out the water lines as opposed to filling the entire camper's water lines with the winterization fluid. So that's something I might use that for as well. But it's always nice to just have that tool to be able to blow out the water lines. Here in the back of the truck, I have a car detailing brush. One thing that I really am going to try to prevent on my RV is it looking old and dirty. I see a lot of RVs that just start to age pretty quickly because some people just don't really take any time to clean or wash their RV, especially the roof. So that's a long brush there that will allow me to do that. Have a drill back here, so I'll always keep a drill in the truck. And a lot of these things I keep in my truck. Have a socket set there, and then these are the blocks or the wheel blocks that it came with, or not that it came with, that I purchased at the dealership when I bought the RV. But again, that's one of those things that I already upgraded to a little bit better product. And then here is just a safety measure thing. This is going to be some little road triangles. So you can't really see there, but they're going to be road triangles that you can set up on the road. So in the event that I blew out a tire or something like that, those I can set up on the road just as a safety precaution to help try and keep me protected while I'm out there fixing the tire. And then there's the next product that we're going to talk about is like one of the hardest things to determine on a trailer is what, or on a travel trailer at least, is what the hitch weight is. And I guess the same goes for a fifth wheel as well, but this product that I'm going to show is specifically for a travel trailer. Many of you might know JD with Big Truck, Big RV. So JD partnered with E-Trailer and made this new product here. It is pretty cool, and I'm excited to use it. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to use it. So you can see the Big Truck, Big RV logo there on the bag. This here is a hitch weight scale. So this will allow you to set this up underneath your hitch on your travel trailer and determine what the true hitch weight is of your camper. This is pretty important because you can look up the hitch weight online, but as soon as you load up anything into the RV, that hitch weight is going to change. So it's nice to be able to have this and know what the true hitch weight is on your camper. Plus, the specs that they list online, they always vary a little bit from what the actual RV ends up weighing once it's yours and it hits the lot. Like every RV can weigh slightly differently than another one, even in the same models. So this hitch weight here, I'm pretty excited to use it. I haven't used it yet, but I think that's a pretty cool product that just came out that is going to be nice to use and nice to have, especially since I plan on loading up some heavy stuff into my truck, and my payload capacity on my truck is not super high at only about 1,200 pounds. So when I'm looking at bringing, heavy generators and stuff like that, it's going to be nice to have the hitch weight scale to really check and see where I'm at on the camper and make sure I'm not overloading the payload or cargo capacity on my truck. So that's a product there that I'm pretty excited to use that's new and definitely going to be an interesting thing to have and make it easier to weigh that hitch on the truck and make sure I'm not overloading things. And last thing here in the truck that I have is this torque wrench. This is going to be good for if I ever have or actually I've had this in the truck for a long time. So this is just if I ever need to, replace a tire or something like that, just having a torque wrench there to be able to properly go about doing that. So that's the last thing here in the truck. Now here in this bucket, a couple other things here. I have this grease, so this is going to be used for like metal on metal connections in different areas on the RV, things like that. I've used it on like my weight distribution hitch in some areas just to prevent like wear and tear on that. Have a drain valve lubricant here. And again, some of these things I've never used before. I've just seen them highly recommended. So that drain valve lubricant, seen it in parts departments plenty of times in RVs before, but I've never really used it before. Same with this toilet seal lubricant. So I guess just making sure that seal on the toilet doesn't deteriorate, which again, I didn't even really realize that was something that could happen. So learn that. Then here, this is just an electrical testing kit. So being able to test your electrical current on different things in the RV. That there again, just a thing to help with being able to troubleshoot things in the RV. Then I have these connections here. These are like a standard 110 plug connection there that can attach into a 30 amp plug. So this is nice. Even at like my storage facility, it just has those little standard outlet plugs, and that allows me to plug my 30 amp into those standard outlets to get power. This is also here another adapter. This is a 50 amp down to a 30 amp connection. So this allows me to, like if I'm at a campsite that only has a 50 amp plug, I can still plug into that even though my camper is only 30 amp. So there's all kinds of different adapter plugs out there to make sure you have the right connections wherever you're at. And that's something just to be aware of. A couple hammers here, a hammer and a mallet. Again, just things to be able to do tasks at the campground or on the camper. Pretty simple with that. Have some extra clips here. I'm struggling to remember the exact proper term for these, but these are going to be different attachments for things like on my weight distribution hitch, for example, or on the safety pin. Just in case if I ever lose any of these pins that hold things in place, I got some extras because I know myself, I know it's very easy for me to accidentally misplace one of these things, whether it's while I'm in the midst of like setting it up or if it's what like when I'm done with my trip and I take everything apart. It's very easy to lose those pins, and so I just got extras on those that way in case that ever happens. I'm not stuck in a bind where now I have to go to the store or something to find extras because those are very important. I mean, you can't if you lose those, some of those things you literally can't pull off with your camper without them, the way that the weight distribution hitch is set up. This here is a Turnabond. A Turnabond is basically a really thick tape that can be used to do things like seal different areas of the roof. So I haven't really used this product yet, but this is going to be something that is used as, again, just one of those measures to prevent problems and or fix problems in an area like the roof or different areas where seals are at on the RV, like your slide outs as well, for example. Now, this right here, this is going to be a little roller. That's for that Eternabond to just roll it on and get it to adhere properly. These are little hose grommets, or I don't know what the proper term would be exactly, but they're the little things that go inside your garden hose. So in case I just ever lose those are the things that prevent the water from leaking out of the water hose when it's attached. And then finally, this is the last thing here in this bucket. This is going to be this ProFlex flexible sealant. So again, another sealant here for different areas in the RV in case something ever needs to be sealed up. Lots of different preventative measures, lots of stuff to prevent, water intrusion and things like that, and things to be able to address those issues if they do occur right there on the spot.
Up here on the roof, this is another thing a lot of people get from day one that I got installed at the dealership. Doesn't come on a lot of RVs. Some it will, but this one it did not. But this is a Max Air vent cover. This basically allows me to keep this vent open even if it's raining or, windy or anything like that. Make sure that damage doesn't happen to the vent or that water doesn't come in through the vent, things of that nature. So a lot of people will get these vent covers installed on here, and I certainly made sure to do that when I purchased this RV so I can not have to worry about that vent being left open so much. Another thing that I would recommend that I'm going to get for myself too is the sealant for these seals here. I believe it's called like Dicor. It's like a self-leveling sealant. And the reason why, even from day one, you can see right here, I actually have a little hole right there in the sealant. So this is something where all RVs are put together by human beings. Every single individual human being is going to act different than another, and whoever applied this just missed that little hole right there. And that is something that I need to seal up, and it's just nice to have that sealant on hand in case. I mean, you should check your roofs as often as you possibly can to make sure that these seals are staying intact and not having any holes or tears or peeling away or anything like that, because that is how you're going to have a roof leak. Then there are these RV snap pads. You've probably seen these before. A lot of YouTubers are sponsored by this brand. I am not. Speaking of which, the only brands that even, basically pay me or give me products for free are rvmattress.com and then Liquefied and the Slinky stove that we'll see in a little bit. They sent me those for free as well. Everything else I paid for with my own money. So these are RV snap pads here. These basically give you a better surface area for your stabilizer connections there, and they make products for both fifth wheels, travel trailers, and motorhomes. So those are really nice to have. When I come along this way, I'll show you, the little tiny stabilizer feet that come standard on a travel trailer. These are what I had to take off. These right here. Definitely not nearly as much surface area there for those stabilizers. So definitely like that product a lot. Sorry about the trash back here. I have to burn some of that stuff, get rid of some of that stuff. But it's because I've been setting up a lot of this at the campsite. Nice to have. A lot of people like having an outdoor kitchen on a RV. The reason that was not essential to me is because, one, I understand to have a kitchen outside of your RV, it means they have to eat into interior space somewhere to build out that area that the kitchen goes into. I don't really care or prefer to have my interior space taken up with outdoor components when I can just get these individual components themselves and set them up outside. So I got this griddle cooktop here. This is a Halo griddle cooktop. I saw this on some Jayco products coming standard on them and thought it looked pretty cool, looked pretty nice. So I went with that. I've used it twice now and it's working great. Has two different connections. You can connect it like this with a little propane bottle, or there is a propane quick connect line underneath my RV that I could also tap into there. An extension cord is something that is nice to have as well for any, connections outside of the RV. That is something I forgot to pack in the camper, but an extension cord is also definitely a nice to have. Things like these camp tables out here. This is one that I found on Amazon as well. I can't remember the name of it. Let's see if I have it in this paperwork right here. This is like the instruction manual. Dang, I don't see the name of it. But I just looked up like camping table on Amazon, or again, I'll try to link these products down below in the comments or in the description of this video. I mean, if I'm able to figure that out. But pretty nice use here. Multiple layers there to the table. And then I have a cooler out here. This is just a pretty standard Igloo cooler I got at Walmart. And between having the cooler and the cooktop here and water jugs outside, as you can see, these are collapsible water jugs, so they store really easily. They're not the most ideal because they're a little bit of a pain getting like collapsed down and then expanded back up, and they're not like solid and sturdy, but they do the job. They do what I need them to do, and you can get much more premium water storage solutions as well. But between those three things, I have an outdoor kitchen right here now. I have everything that any other outdoor kitchen would have, except maybe the ones that have a TV and a microwave, which are way over the top for what I would feel essential or what I need. They would be nice to have, but nonetheless, I have everything I need for an outdoor kitchen now here with this setup. And it's all underneath the awning. Although when I do cook, I put the awning back so it doesn't, build up smoke underneath that awning there. Then I have doormats walking inside. So I picked these up. Got some doormats there to wipe my feet on. Got this little boot tray here so that I have a spot to put my shoes before I go inside. And then as we come along this way, have another little camp chair. This might be the best deal I ever found. This was at Walmart. I got this for $4, and the amount of use that I've got out of this thing is unbelievable. I got this before I got the camper, and these little chairs are awesome. They're just so great for working on little tasks or just sitting down for a quick second. Having a hatchet is nice to have because this just allows you to chop wood. Sometimes when you buy bundles of wood, those bundles are just going to be thicker pieces than you want to try to get a fire started. Having a hatchet or an axe is always nice. Having camp chairs, definitely nice to have, or you're gonna really want. So some good camp chairs. We currently have ours down, but these are, a little bit more of a premium camp chair. There's so many different camp chair options out there though, that I'm sure you guys can figure out. And then we have a table right here. This we have set up out by the fire pit. So a couple different table options that we have, which as you can see how we have these set up, it's nice to have a table by the fire. So if we want to eat by the fire or anything like that, we have a spot to put drinks down on. We have a spot to, put condiments on or whatever. We have dishwashing soap because I have been washing the dishes out here since I'm not hooked up to water. And then if you're lame like me and just want an easy fire starting solution, I do have this lighter fluid right here. So that just helps get the fire going with minimal effort, which sometimes I just enjoy because I don't want to put that much effort in. And then last thing outside, I think, before we head on to stuff that's inside the camper, is this cargo rack along the back. Now, some RVs will come standard with this. You can see there's an accessory hitch here along the back. And this cargo rack is what I'm going to install back here. I just haven't got to it yet. But it's going to allow me to, what my hope is that I'll be able to put my generator back here on the back side of this travel trailer when we're traveling, so that I can still keep my bed space freed up for other things, and also have that big heavy weight on the back side of this camper. Since most of the other weight I load up in here is loaded up into the front side of the camper, it will kind of offset that weight a little bit and also hopefully take just a little bit of weight off of the tongue weight there as well. Could also put a cooler back here also. That's another thing a lot of people do. Oh, and last thing outside, I almost forgot this before I walked inside. A hitch lock is also very important. This is something I wish I would have had the day I picked up my RV, because I had to take my RV back to my dad's neighborhood at the time when I purchased it. I had to leave it unhitched, or actually I just left it hooked up to my truck, which left me basically not being able to use my truck, but I didn't want to leave it just freely standing there with somebody being able to hitch up to it and take it. So having some sort of hitch lock is something you might want to get literally before you even go to pick up your RV, so you don't have to worry about someone potentially coming up and stealing your trailer when you disconnect from it. Got the camp chair set up now because my mom and Saint arrived. So we got Saint out here for today. This is kind of fun too, just camping close to home, so they're able to come out here and hang out, get Saint out in some nature a little bit. Now let's go walk inside. As we walk inside, I have another mat right here that I got for the entry door. Again, just a nice to have thing. Mat here for the kitchen area, and a rug, like a runner rug for the living room space. Then here in the kitchen space, you're definitely gonna want some lights. So I have a couple different lanterns here, a flashlight. I have another little mini flashlight that's in the bedroom. Those are always nice to have. Different storage solutions are great. So I got like these wicker baskets here. This is holding all of my charging things for charging my cameras and different stuff while I'm out here. But obviously you can think of so many different use cases for this. And I'm just gonna kind of go through everything so you can see all the stuff that I got. Board games, always nice to have. Shout out to my brother-in-law Michael and my little sister Riley, who got me this for Christmas. So they introduced me to this game on our hunting trip, which you might have seen on my Firmly Unbound YouTube channel, and they got me that there. So that's really cool. I'm excited to use that. Paper plates, paper bowls. People might bring in actual like plasticware or, actual, even sometimes like ceramic plates and bowls. I am just not that type of camper. I will pretty much always use these paper products when I am inside of my RV because it's just so much easier. This year I was really hoping to be able to use as a spot to hang keys and stuff like that. I did have it mounted with little sticky pads that I'll show you here in a second to this wall right here, and it fell off. So I need to find a better mounting solution. I might need like command strips instead of little sticky pads for this weight. But that's something that's just to consider. I got this little drain spot here for the sink, so I purchased this to allow things to just rest on this area like sponges and whatnot and drain into the sink. And then I also got this drain plug right here so that things don't go into drains. I also have one of these in the shower because when things go into your gray tank there, you have to think every single thing, every piece of hair, food, whatever is going to go settle in that gray tank. And I just want to prevent as much little sediments like that to go into that tank and build up over time. So trying to start from day one to prevent those things from happening. Down underneath here, this did come with a trash can. Not all RVs will though, so keep in mind you may need to get a trash can for inside the RV. And then I got these little baskets in here to hold stuff in place there so that it doesn't move while in transit. That's a big thing, is just making sure stuff doesn't move around like crazy during transit. I also got, I don't know where it's at. You'll want some cleaning supplies obviously and things of that nature, but I have a paper towel roll holder that I got that's pretty neat that hopefully we'll find as we go through all this stuff. Again, plastic bin underneath there to hold some things down in this space. And yeah, I think that's it down underneath there. There's nothing really underneath there yet. More wicker baskets to hold things. I just kind of like the look of these, but you can obviously go with whatever you want. So in here, have this 303 aerospace protectant. It's basically a UV protectant cleaner there. So heard really good reviews about that. So that's what I'll be using to clean a lot of different things on the RV. A few different, cleaning solutions for dishes. And again, have extras of these just in case. Some sponges for cleaning dishes. I'm a Scrub Daddy user usually, but they did not have Scrub Daddies at the place that I went to buy these supplies. In here, another wicker basket, and then here's these things. So we have these bags here. These are going to be zipper pouches to store things in. So excited to put those to use, keep things just stored and organized. And then here's the paper towel holder that I will mount probably up like underneath the cabinets or something along those lines, or maybe back in the corner on that wall like that. So I have a nice spot to store that sewer hose, or not the sewer hose, the paper towels. Gosh, why the heck did I say sewer hose? What in the world? Fire extinguisher, that's something that's definitely important to know about. If your RV did not come with one, you're definitely going to want that because you do not want your RV to burn down. So having a fire extinguisher, definitely an essential thing. Down through here, you're going to want all of your cookware essentials. So I have a knife set in here, bottle opener, and also a can opener. Also have a set of cookware here. So like wooden tools here for cooking, a larger knife, scissors, bottle opener, and then underneath here, some batteries and fuses. So again, all nice things to have, just having extra sets of batteries in here. These are the sticky pads that I got to try to like secure things into different spaces. They're a little thin though. They're not as thick as I would have wanted them to be. I know there's like thicker double-sided sticky tape that you can get out there that works a little bit better than these. And there's also command strips to mount things in your RV. Again, another bin for this drawer here. And then this is all just kitchen stuff. And then things like aluminum foil, little mitts here for pulling things out of the oven. And again, some of these things you don't have to purchase as well because you can just bring them in from home. But what most people end up doing is they have their own set of stuff that stays inside their RV. If this is something you know you're going to do, you know, and something you're willing to invest in, it's nice just to get all this stuff and just keep it in your RV so you just know it's there to go when you're ready to go on your next camping trip. A little collapsible strainer. Again, a lot of things that help free up space for storage. Underneath here, a bunch of cooking things. I don't need to go too much into detail with this because this is all just going to be your own preference, but that's all just items for the kitchen. Things like cutting board, nice to think about. I have a stainless steel pan in there. Don't need to go overboard. I literally just have my stainless steel pan and my griddle cooktop outside in one cast iron pan, essentially, and that's it for right now, and it works just fine for me. I think that's everything in this area. Nothing too crazy here. As we go along this way, I have this Slinky stove right here, so I'm really excited to use this. This is a collapsible stove slash thing to cook on slash fire pit. So it collapses down to a really small size. You can see, you know, how compact it is here in the box, and then you can kind of see that graphic there, how it will expand up and collapse down. I got a full demonstration of this on my interesting things at the Florida RV show video, so you can find that on my channel here as well. More storage bins down underneath here that will fit in areas like this here. Then as we come underneath here, this has been the absolute best product ever for Megan. For whatever reason, there's something just special about her blood, where she is most comfortable in a space that is like 76 to 80 degrees, which is just absolutely unbearable to me. And this space heater has definitely saved her life on this trip, as it's been, you know, dropping down into like the 40s and 50s at night. Usually inside the camper, it's only about like 60 to 65 at night without any furnace on. And we haven't been reluctant to turn the furnace on, but this has been on just on her feet to make sure that her feet stay warm. I will say though, be very careful with space heaters inside of RVs because you don't want to overload your electrical circuits. So just be very mindful, keep them small, keep them plugged into a single outlet by themselves. Don't plug them into surge protectors or, you know, power strips or anything like that. And it should work just fine. And don't get multiples of them. You don't want to have multiple of those running all at the same time. Through here, we got paper towels. These are going to be some, you know, basic stuff. This here is a pretty cool product I'm excited to use. Never used it before, but just saw it recommended. This is going to be a water leak detector. So it's going to have all these different sensors that can go around your RV in different vulnerable spots for leaks. So think things like underneath your sinks. And then it has a sensor that plugs in and will connect to your phone. And then it can give you notifications or beep as well when you have any sort of water leak. Similar to that, there's another product I don't have with me that I have used before. They have sponsored the channel before, called Waggle. Waggle is basically a similar thing where it's a monitoring system, but for the temperature and humidity inside of your RV. So if you keep pets in your RV while you're away, it will notify you if it starts getting too hot or too cold based on the temperature preferences that you set it to determine whenever you're away from your RV. So that's a product called Waggle. And here, have an outdoor rug. Haven't used that yet, but an outdoor rug is nice. This one, I don't know how like heavy duty it is. I'm kind of scared to take it out in this dirty of a setting. It's just one my mom gave me. And then here, these are vent covers. So these little things with the reflective surface on them, they'll expand out and they go up into your vents right here to better insulate this area, because that is pretty vulnerable in terms of insulation there. So you can stuff it up in there if you want to have better insulation in that area. As we come down here, I have another little Slinky stove. So the Slinky stove brand has multiple different sizes for their products. Here's a little one there. A broom, definitely want that from pretty much day one in your RV. And then things like bug spray, just nice to have. Oh, and sticks for your fire. It says roast 'em sticks. These are nice to have also. Haven't used them yet just because I have another set as well. But those are something you're definitely going to want. And then that's pretty much it in this area. Going back here, have hand towels, face towels, stuff like that. Just little washcloths. Let's see what else we got. A little trash can in here. There's liquefied. You can find liquefied on Amazon as well. Have a dehumidifier. So this dehumidifier is great. I've heard a lot of things about people using dehumidifiers in their RVs to just keep the humidity down, especially if you live in southern climates or just humid climates. Humidity can just cause unnecessary moisture buildup inside of an RV that can cause problems. So dehumidifiers help with that. Have not used this product yet, but it is there for when I do want to start using that. And that's pretty much everything there. Let's see, do we have more toilet paper in here? Things like a, toilet paper, or not toilet paper, a toothbrush holder right there. And then this is a holder for mops and brooms. And always have more wipes available. So we have both body wipes and just like toilet wipes and stuff like that available. We have a couple different towels that are really small. So you can see this is Venture Forth. Saw these recommended as well by one of the YouTubers that I watch. It's, I think, a Grateful Glamper. Very small, compact microfiber towels. You can see Megan's hung up here, what that looks like. Really big too. I got the really large size ones, but just very compact, dry quickly, and are just much more suitable for an RVing experience versus like a traditional cotton towel. Oh, got feminine products in there. No need to see that. And then a couple other just like nice things to have. You can see I got this toilet paper stand right there. We're going to secure that down to the floor with just like some sticky pads or command strips to hold that in place while we're going down the road. Shower mat, again, another plug there or cover for the drain to prevent any hair or anything from going down that drain. And then we have another bath mat in here, so plenty of mats and rugs for the floor. Going back to the bedroom, obviously if you want to have blankets on your bed, you're going to need to purchase those for your RV or bring them in from the house. Same with pillows. For right now I'm just bringing in my pillows from the house, but I did buy, or my mom actually found this comforter set for me. And then on my sheets, I got Betty's sheets for the bed. The reason I went with these, they actually have a zipper right here. So you make the bed one time, and then when you actually need to wash the sheets, you don't have to take off the whole bedding. You can just unzip this top portion here, and the top portion that you lay on will come off, and you can take that inside to wash it. So that's Betty's, that brand there. So I'm using those sheets. And then we already talked about the mattress. We have the upgraded mattress from rvmattress.com. Nothing in here. I have a little laundry basket up underneath the bed. Keep in mind, when you upgrade your mattress, a lot of times the struts it came with now are not going to hold up this platform anymore. But you can see right there, laundry basket in there that I bought. And that way I can take all my dirty clothes just inside the house and clean them, or inside into a laundromat if I'm ever full timing in this RV, and don't have to like figure out where I'm going to put them after I've already thrown them somewhere. But you can see that bed will not stay up on its own anymore, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's just the nature of upgrading your mattress to a heavier duty mattress. And then that is pretty much it, y'all. Oh, this is another thing you're gonna also want. I didn't realize how important this was until now, but you can see here we have towels taped up over these windows because it is actually really unsettling at night just knowing how vulnerable it feels when those windows are not covered. Every other window in here I have some sort of shade for except for those ones, so I will be getting some sort of shade system. In fact, I've already ordered them. I just haven't got them in yet for those windows. Both entry doors need a shade there. Some brands will already have that installed standard. And that is it, y'all. That is basically everything that I have purchased so far for this RV and for camping in this RV. I'm very curious your thoughts and what you think I might have missed, what stuff you could add to this conversation as well. And hopefully, if you've never had an RV before, or if you just purchased an RV recently, or maybe if you've been an RVer, I was able to show you something that you didn't know existed. But hopefully you got something out of this video that is helpful for you. If you did, make sure you hit the like button on this video, or just leave a comment or anything. We'd love to chat with y'all down below, and then add any additional information down below in the comments as well if you have any to add. But that's all I got for y'all. If you want to see what my camping trip and experience looks like with this trip that I'm on, kind of my first reviews of this camper as well and stuff like that. You can find that on my Firmly Unbound channel also. So I will be posting a full video of this camping trip on my Firmly Unbound YouTube channel. There will be a link down below in the comments and description of this video to find that. And then I'm also going to do a review on this camper every time I take it out. So this will be like, I think I'm going to call it something like RVs are junk, maybe. I'm trying to decide on a name, but it might be like RVs are junk episode 1. And I'm just going to talk about each time I take my camper out to use it in a new experience, how it did, you know, how it held up, what things were great, which things went wrong, and just be really transparent about the experience in this new 2025 RV to show you guys what it's like to own a new RV in 2025. So follow along for all that stuff, and that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, live firmly unbound.